Not everyone gets to tell their own legend. Let me attempt to tell mine. This is the legend of the Grande Gringo. Want to hear it? Tough shit, I'm going to tell you anyway. A few years back, well, what amounts to a lot of years back now, my uncle bought a campground in Wisconsin Dells, the biggest tourist trap in the state. Well, it seriously needed to be rebuilt, if not knocked down in some places. So he needed people to help him tear into it and remodel and do all the things that need to be done to do something like that. Well, I happen to be living in a camper in the middle of the woods going through a life change in Adams County, Wisconsin for 2 years. And I obviously didn't have anything better to do, so I volunteered. So it ended up being me, my uncle, his brother, and four illegals. Well, it turns out they had a whole apartment complex full of illegals and they were into all kinds of stuff. But anyway, but we were the ones mainly that were working on the campground. I was right alongside the Mexicans the whole time, digging in the sewers, pulling up electric, knocking down walls, and so forth and so on. Well, along the way, we're picking up family members who are gonna, I guess you could say, specialize in getting the kitchen ready and the gift shop ready, and this person's coordinating this and this one's doing that. And that's the way we progressed into it. Well, I thought it was going pretty good. The biggest complaint I really had, or would have had anybody taken anything I had to say seriously, is that they were getting into way too much stuff and there were way too many loose ends all over the place. It's a public venue. You don't want loose ends. That's not a good thing. But anyway, time goes by and it starts getting a little cooler out, and then people start whining about how cold they are because they haven't spent a winter in Wisconsin in 10 years, and so forth and so on. All of a sudden, one day they come out and they announce that they're all going back to Arizona for the winter. And they're going to leave me with these three Mexicans and one Ecuadorian, and I'm going to make sure that they're fed and they got a warm place to sleep and the sleeping cabins and all that's up and doing what it needs to be done, which aren't built for the winter time, at least wise several of them. Anyhow, we worked through the whole winter, and these guys start rolling back in from Arizona and picking up where they left off and this and that. And one day, the boys, that's what I called them by then, were sitting in the rec hall and they were rating people in Spanish. That guy's a gringo, there's a senorita, and so forth and so on. And a few Spanish expletives were used along the way. And I came in and out, was kind of prodding them. We had to get back on it. And when I was on my way out the door ahead of them, I heard Fendejo. Well, I know what that means. I know, well, I know Spanish cuss words. How's that? And I I didn't know what they were doing, so I kind of blew it off. We got work to do. But on the way out, when they came out, the lead guy, Gabe, who knew more than I'll ever know about construction, he was arguing with the guy that had said that, and he kept saying Grande, Grande, and they looked like they were kind of in a heated thing over it, the way it looked to me. Well, anyways, I got him back to work, and I pulled the guy from Ecuador aside and I asked him, I said, what the hell was going on at lunch? And he told me what they were doing, and that Gabe got kind of mad when dude said that when I was walking out the door, because Gabe's argument was that I was crawling in all the same holes that they were, doing all the same stuff that they were, and wearing their asses out in some cases. And if anybody should get Grande out of the whole deal of what they were doing, it should be me. And the next morning, Gabe was standing out there with a big smile on his face because the Ecuadorian guy must have told him that I asked him about it. And he's out there saying, Grande, Grande, Grande Gringo, Grande. It was awesome. We all had a great laugh. And ever since that time, they either called me Grande or Grande Gringo. And the biggest compliment I think I've ever got was the guy from Ecuador came by, and Gabe was with him, and so was the other guy. The guy had said that. And he said that they were talking, and they all wished that I was that I was going to be running the crew, because it turns out that my uncle's brother was just as big of an asshole as he was. And that's the legend of the Grande Gringo.